All right, guys, on side with me, Joshua. Holotu, you better come on. Transfers. A lot is happening on the transfer market. I have a lot of breaking news for you because a number of things are happening. Clubs are making deals, and we need to look into it. Yeah. In come on, please. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications. Anytime I drop a video, you're going to be one of the first people to receive it, and we're going to build something amazing over here on this channel, on this platform. We talk football, we talk tactics, we'll talk the transfers, and we'll have a very amazing time over here. Fabrizio Romano is on the news because he's doing so much in the transfer window, reporting all the latest stories. But before we look into the transfers, I want to ask a question. This is to the Chelsea fans. Now, Mykhailo Mudryk has been reported, says the doping ban no year from so, and he's going to join the preseason at Hong Kong. Of course, Chelsea and a Chelsea boy, we lost by 2-1. After coming from behind, we equalized through Estevao. And then last minute, with the last kick of the game, Richarlison got a chance after the ball ricocheted off the post from an initial shot. And he tapped home. So Tottenham Hotspur won by 2-1. I still don't take preseason matches that serious. Of course, today we saw a better Chelsea squad on ball match. No, that is in terms of who started the starting 11. We saw regular starters play in the game, but all the same, the intimate results. No, I don't trust Chelsea a project. No, no. I keep on saying this, that in preseason, what the coach wants to do is say, or person send the philosophy, no, a bit far now, same far. Or what he's trying to do is that he's trying to play a lot of games and utilize so many strategies to see what's going to work for him during the season. And as it stands now, he doesn't even have the full complement of his team yet. Olmo World Cup, no, still some of them have not come back. So during preseason, he has the luxury of time to look at all the other French players, Olmo Academy, Olmo players, Olmo and more regular time. He gets to see some of them, see how they perform, and then also pick some of his notes from there. So I'm not really surprised, or I'm not really, disturbed about the results per se. I am still looking at the individual performances on the day, as well as collectively how Chelsea are playing. And we'll talk about the game pretty shortly because I'll give you the statistics from the game as well as the key highlights that I think were very important things that we should take note of. But again, Mykhailo Mudryk, in the free doping ban, do you think that he should come back into the Chelsea? So that's the question. I want you to drop it in the comments. Do you think Mykhailo Mudryk should be reintegrated in the Chelsea squad, or should he be sold? At this point, to be put on the market to be sold, no, I don't know if that is something that is feasible, because on the player, no, he has come under so much controversy. The only way he can bounce back, or the only way Chelsea can make a statement with him, is if they integrate him into the squad, because a player now who value now got on 89 million pounds, no. Now would you say, or a player bit me abwawa? Then now that he has been removed from the ban, let him come back, because he had played only just 1 year before the ban was enforced on him. But it comes back to the question, is Xabi Alonso that manager who would want to use Mykhailo Mudryk in his formation, in his tactics, in his philosophy, in his project? You see the player? Because as of now, it looks like a fresh signing, if you ask me. For a player who just played 1 year and then didn't play for about 3 years and now he's back. It's more or less like a new signing at Chelsea. I said Chelsea that come market is and work off Mykhailo Mudryk so umbra. You get the point? So it's quite tricky, because that is what I'm asking today. Mykhailo Mudryk has been removed from the doping ban. Do you think he should be back in the squad? Now, if he comes back into the squad, it means that he goes to the wide areas. Now, let's look at the left wing, where he was mainly operating from Abrana, Obo, Chelsea, and San Amodi Ban. And as it stands now, in those areas, there's Pedro Neto, right? Now, Morgan Rogers has also come in, but he is more or less a player who is a number 10. but can play on the left and on the right wing as well, and also through the middle. So I'll take you through Chelsea's, current existing squad. It's very huge, very large. And in fact, a few days ago, I was saying to you guys, say, right now, Chelsea need to sell players before they can make more purchases. Chelsea found Tom players are on to me make certain purchases. Somebody has here, and I know that for sure, Xabi Alonso is not done in the market. Or person or cost still, a compare 1 or 2 midfielders, and now 1 more defender. Even I think Chelsea should even go for a goalkeeper. And recently, I brought you the news about Diogo Costa. The update is that Chelsea are still not really going full in or full out for a brand friend Diogo Costa from Sporting CP. So it means that at this point, Chelsea will have to sell. Now, a couple of players are still on sale. So the negotiations for Abrante friend Chaloba is still ongoing. Benoit Badiashile is still ongoing. Then there are reports that if care is not taken, players like Tosin Adarabioyo would also have to leave. Right? And if they leave, it means that Chelsea will have to get at least 1 more addition in defense. Then I've already spoken about goalkeeper. So either Diogo Costa comes in. I also heard that Chelsea were linked with Abrante friend Jan Oblak. The interest over there has also cooled down. So we'll keep our eyes on that, because I'm telling you for a fact that Chelsea cannot go into the season with their hopes banked on Abrante friend Sanchez in goal or alone. They need to get 1 more world-class goalkeeper to help them, especially in a season where they need to really make their mark and finish top 4. If not for anything at all. Inti, we'll keep up. Now, what is say, Kweku Bonsu say Chelsea will win the league, no? That's very interesting, right? Chelsea fans, drop your comments. What do you think? Nana Kweku Bonsu says Chelsea will win the Premier League, and it was even, dropped as a latest from Fabrizio Romano. I'll take you through all of that. But let's look at Chelsea's midfield currently, right? Look at the forward line as well. So the forwards. Let's look at the forwards. So there's Pedro Neto there. There's Jamie Gittins around. Then we have Estevao Jr. We have Mihailo Mudryk, who is back now. There's Emmanuel Emega. There's Giovanni Kuenda. The rest are either players who are supposed to leave or are youth players. So I'm not really mentioning them. Of course, there's Joao Pedro as a forward as well. There's Liam Delap over there. There's Magiu over there. Then we also have Dani Welbeck, who has just arrived, right? Alejandro Garnacho is gone. David Washington has requested for a transfer, so I'm pretty sure that Enche honestly free Chelsea to go and get more playing time. Whether it could be a loan or a permanent sale, we are yet to find out on that. So typically, these are the forwards that Chelsea have at their disposal, who are getting ready for the season. There's Giovanni Kuenda, there's Emmanuel Emega, there's Mihailo Mudryk, who is back now. Now we have Estevao Jr. Then we have Joao Pedro, Nicholas Jackson, Jamie Gittins, and then Pedro Neto. So these are the players in terms of our forward line who are actively preparing to start the season with Abrante and friend Xabi Alonso, who is going to be the coach of our Chelsea Football Club. So does Mihailo Mudryk walk in? If he's not, should I say, if he's not worried about starting from the bench, I think this will be a very good time for him to now warm up back into the team, because the team a few years ago, before the ban was imposed on him, it's a totally different squad than he's going to come into right now, right? The team that Chelsea had when Mihailo Mudryk was playing is a totally different team as compared to what we have currently, right? And that is the biggest problem for Mudryk, because he then has to find a way to impress Abrante and friend Xabi Alonso to get into the team. And with the fact that he's going on a prison in Hong Kong now, I think it's a good thing. 1 or 2 games, Xabi Alonso will be able to assess the performance of the guy. And the good thing about him, say, when he was suspended, he didn't stop training. So he always went to trade and all of that. So he has a very good fitness level, if you ask me right now. But can he impress Xabi Alonso as he impressed Enzo Maresca? when he was around and when he was prior to the time that's not ban the tone, would he be able to impress? That's the question. Because as it stands right now, it introduces a new layer of tactical flexibility that Xabi Alonso has to adopt in bringing the player back into the squad. And that is the big question that I believe that Xabi Alonso will be trying to answer. Because, of course, Mudryk is an exceptional player. He has speed, he has pace. But you see, his finishing, the final third, was what was quite problematic with him. Okotina, if you know, or yeah, in personal training, with BB. So I would also want to see him play. If he's able to convince us that he still has those qualities that we saw in him before we went to buy him there, I don't think there's a problem with him coming back. Because at this point, I don't see him being listed on the market and any team saying that they want to go and take him for anything more than what Chelsea bought him for. It is about 89 million pounds. And yes, sir. Chelsea focus here turn is here. You intimi nya say sika no for Abrante Ferran Mudryk. So he would have to force his way into the team, get some playing time, demonstrate that when he went to sit at home, he has learned. And he has become a better player. Impress Xabi Alonso, because now Xabi Alonso needs a lot of results. Into all per results, you need to be able to demonstrate that you are able to give us a result by scoring more goals. That's Mudryk. And that is what I think would make the difference in Abrante career. Yeah. And he said, if he's not worried about coming from the bench to come and impact games, because as it stands now, I don't see how he starts ahead of players like is it Pedro Neto? Because Pedro Neto, even it looks like I'm sure he will leave Chelsea. It's not confirmed whether they are suitors for him. Yes, there was Liverpool knocking on the door, but they were knocking on the door with I think 50 million pounds. Chelsea said they will take something around 70 million pounds. So that interest has also gone cold a bit. But if Chelsea are able to make certain sales in that position, then perhaps we could see something where Mudryk either walks into the first team or he comes actively from the bench in games to impact. But all of these are speculations, and that is the question I'm asking. So, as a Chelsea fan and you are watching this, tell me, what do you think about Mudryk? Does he walk straight into the lineup? Or do you think that he needs to impress and show that he's worthy of playing for Chelsea before Chelsea reintegrate him in the squad? Of course, I'll call Hong Kong to go and join the preseason. But Giovanni Quenda has come. So that's another competition for him, right? Jamie Gittins. And so we've seen Jamie Gittins in the game against Western Sydney Wanderers. And also today too, we saw him in the game against Tottenham Hotspur. Now, talking about that Tottenham Hotspur game, let's go into it. Because Chelsea lost that game by 2-1. I was not surprised again. When it comes to preseason, I'm not really for preseason. I think that's one thing about me. And in preseason, yes, even if you lose by 4-0 or 4-1, it could sound like a big deal because teams are looking at the fact that it's Chelsea. So once it's Chelsea, people expect more. But the truth of the matter is that whether it is Chelsea, Team A or Team B, whatever is being done in preseason is just a preparation for what is going to happen in the season. So you may not see the most spectacular performances. No, you don't get that, right? And Team A, Chelsea for and all the others who are ready to troll us anytime we lose, they need to take their time. Yes. Take your time. It's not just about scoring. No. You can score all the goals in preseason. When the season starts, you will find yourself wanting. And it's better if Chelsea realizes its mistakes now than say season number starting now failure mistakes in the number be no. So again, guys, please calm down. Chelsea played earlier today against Team Ayefreno Tottenham Hotspur. Now, let's look at the lineups that both teams use. I'm specifying on Chelsea because that's what we are talking about. So, Shaman Lowe was in goal. Then we had Marco Palestra playing as right back. Then we had centre-back pairing of Fofana and Levi Colwill. Then Joel Hato played as left back. Then as double pivot, Romeo Lavia and Dario Esuo. And I'm very happy for Romeo Lavia personally, because guy has been injured for God knows how long. And even before this game, no, Xabi Alonso was saying that he felt something in his hamstring, and I was like, wow, can this guy catch a break? Anyway, Jamie Gittins played on left wing, Esteval played on right wing, Cole Palmer played as number 10, and Joao Pedro played right in front of him. So you can literally use this team to start a Premier League game. So, of course, there were no, we cannot make so many, we can't make so many excuses. That's the thing. Now, let's look at Tottenham Hotspur. Kinski was in goal. Andy Robertson, new signing, was at left back. Davis and Van Hecke in central defense. Then we had Gray at the right back. Lucas Bergvall, Sandro Tonali, new signing, and then Conor Gallagher, former Chelsea player, were in the midfield. Then we had Matthias Tell, Dominic Solanke, as well as Solomon play in the right for the forward line of Team Ayefreno Air Tottenham Hotspur. Now, as along the line, there was a red card to Kevin Danso. And he got sent off. So which means that Tottenham Hotspur actually ended the match with 10 men, but they were still able to win that game. So yes, credits to them. They did so well. I think Roberto De Zerbi has a certain agenda that he wants to champion. So he's been quite ruthless. And he's told a number of players, Master, why are you ready so well, but they are fine. When you're ready so well, they are caught. So, and the mere fact that he went for Sandro Tonali from Newcastle United for about £80 million, right, was a statement. So I can, and Sandro Tonali actually scored. So I can see that Coach Ayefreno, Roberto De Zerbi, now dream will be so a person who a free Tottenham Hotspur team. So along the line, we had Aaron Anselmino come from the bench, Dastan Satpaev as well, Joshua Champon, Mamadou Sarr, Tosin Adarabioyo, Reggie Walsh, Reggie Watson, Liam Delap, and Omari Kellyman. So Chelsea literally ended the game with the second team or the youth squad, the way we started the Western Sydney Wanderers game. So by the time the second half had arrived, by the 80th minute, most of the players that started the game had left. So that's another context to the whole situation. And I hope you understand why Chelsea lost the game. I'm not making excuses, but that's what it is, right? Chelsea, we didn't really, we didn't have so much control of the game, because by the 80th minute, most of our players from the first half had left. And then we had players come from the bench, most of who were youth players. But that's what it is. Let's see. Chelsea's going to play Juventus in the next preseason game, and I'm looking forward to seeing Chelsea prepare well for the season. It's just about the preparation. If you have a very good preparation, I think that the season will not go as difficult as we think it will, because we are not going to play in Europe. So if you're not going to play in Europe, you need to be able to put your best foot forward, get the most results. Now we are making the signings. Jordan Henderson is coming next. Today there was the announcement of Branty Efreno Ed and Welbeck. So yeah, let's see. I still have a lot of faith in Xabi Alonso. This is just the beginning. He's now building. Guys, let's not waste too much time talking about that. Let's go to the transfers. Now, Fabrizio Romano reporting, and these days, guys, I have conferred the name Top High Fabrizio to myself. So guys, you can also call me the Top High Fabrizio, Top High Fab, right? So anytime I come your way, I'll tell you that I'm Top High Fab. And when I say I'm Top High Fab, you should know what is coming next. I'm giving you the transfer stories, right? So keep in mind, Top High Fab, the new Top High. And I'll tell you why Top High. I'll go see a friend Top High Fab, Top High Fabrizio. Now Top High in I'll tell you, just stay with me. So Dani Welbeck has been speaking after his signing. I'll say the guys know in the dressing room I am a shoulder to lay on. For sure, you can come to me and talk about anything. Yeah, you see, this is the reason why we are signing the player. I guess what I'm talking about. Dani Welbeck is coming to Chelsea, not with the pressure to come and score goals, but he's one of the guys who has experience, who has played the Premier League for a long time. And this is a player that players like Joao Pedro can walk to. Don't forget, he played together with Joao Pedro when they were at Brighton. So that kind of guidance and coaching he gave Joao Pedro at the time will continue over here at Chelsea. And we want to see him unlock the best out of Chelsea for forward line, encouraging them, showing them the little secrets that he utilizes to score goals. At the age of 35, last season, scoring 13 goals. 11 of those goals came from when he came off the bench. Guys, this is the guy we should keep our eyes on, Dani Welbeck, and I'm very happy he's completed this signing. He'll be a very integral member of the Chelsea family, so that has been confirmed. Now, look, in an hour ago, Arsenal are in direct talks again with Newcastle to close the Bruno Guimaraes deal. So Bruno is waiting for the green light to travel for medicals and contract signing as soon as the deal is completed, and Arsenal maintain total confidence. So Arsenal, as we speak now, are still having talks with team and your friend in Newcastle on the signing of a brand your friend Bruno Guimaraes. This is because, of course, the deal has been agreed. Transfer fee has been agreed. Personal terms has been agreed. But anytime it comes to contract signing, anytime it comes to player signings, a lot of details have to be looked through. Like the agents have to review some of their benefits that they're going to receive, right? Club to club negotiations still have to continue. They have to identify whether it's going to be amortized. So a lot of details need to be checked here and there. And those are the things that normally delay the announcement and also the green light and the signal for the player to move from the team to go for his medicals and all of that. I think that's what is happening in the case of Bruno G from Newcastle to Arsenal. Another thing coming in just about a few hours ago is that Everton have agreed a deal to sign Christian Norgard from Arsenal. So here we go. Now, the total package is £7 million that Arsenal are going to receive from Everton for Christian Norgard. So I think Arsenal now sets to accelerate and close Bruno Guimaraes' deal as soon as possible. So now that Christian Norgard has left, it also helps Bruno G's transfer to be completed because, of course, when the cash comes in, it adds to other financial, funds that are available, and then they can also help with the transfer of other players. But Arsenal, I think Arsenal need to make a lot of signings. Yeah, Arsenal need to really, really push hard to make more signings because after winning the league and coming back to defend it this time around, you don't want to slack. They've already lost Leandro Trossard, and there are discussions for the exit of Gabriel Martinelli. In the midfield, it was speculated that Odegaard could be leaving, as well as Martin Zubimendi. So these are not good optics. You want to keep the core of your squad. You want to make sure that you have the full complement of the team that made the previous, laurel of going all the way to the Champions League final and also winning the Premier League. So Arsenal, Arteta, maybe after the signing of Bruno G, there could be incomings, including the possibility of Vinicius Jr, who we learn that it's likely that he will go to the drawing board with Real Madrid in the coming days, because Real Madrid will be looking to meet at a middle ground with Vinicius Jr. It was initially speculated, it was actually reported earlier today that Arsenal had agreed personal terms with Abrante Efreno, Vinicius Jr. Now, the truth of the matter is that, according to Gig Globo, that's a sport outlet in Brazil, that is not the case. So Vinicius Jr. has not, and listen, Vinicius Jr. has not agreed personal terms with Arsenal. It is reported that Arsenal are willing to meet his wage demands, which is somewhere around £470,000 a week, and over could even be more than that. And there's a certain commercial valuation that could see even that amount go higher than £500,000 a week. And if Arsenal has to splash the cash and bring in Vinicius Jr., there are so many demerits and merits to that, right? But as it stands right now, there has been no personal terms agreed between the two parties. So let's keep it in mind that is not what the situation is. And in fact, you see, Vinicius Jr. coming to Arsenal, and I love the fact that this is something that is, being thought about by a lot of analysts. Arsenal are getting to a point where they need more commercial, eyes on their team. So if they have a player like Vinicius Jr., what do you think it gives Arsenal? It makes Arsenal more commercially viable. You are bringing in one of the most talented players in the Spanish La Liga into the Premier League. You bring more eyes to the Premier League. You bring more eyes to the Arsenal franchise. You get more people to even buy more of Vinicius Jr.'s Arsenal shirt. So the commercial viability of Vinicius Jr. coming into the Premier League and play for Arsenal, it was through EA Pan, and it's going to help Arsenal to be able to solidify their brand and get a lot of returns from it. But look at Vinicius Jr. as a player. Quite emotional. Sometimes, he has his downsides, and the English media is going to be very unforgiving. In Tiwabe joining, that controversy that he was stirring in the Spanish La Liga, no, or Premier League, na yem fan channel. Because whatever he does, there'll be scrutiny on it. Already he went for a surgery to, correct his jawline or whatever he did, that cosmetic surgery he went to do. Once it comes to the Premier League, he must know that privacy is something he may not enjoy. So he has to be ready. If Arsenal is a team that he may have to end up playing, if he's not able to have a successful contract negotiation with team my friend Arsenal, with team my friend Real Madrid, he has to know that Arsenal is going to be a team where when he comes, he needs to be prepared for anything and everything, because he's going to be thrown at him a lot by the English media. International free, Vinicius Jr. Now, guys, Yon Diomande. In recent times, I guess we have all come to the agreement that Yon Diomande is going to be a Real Madrid player, but there's a twist because the transfer fee is still being negotiated between the two clubs. But this is an interesting thing coming from Fabrizio Romano. Yon Diomande did not play today's friendly match, and he will not even travel to Austria for preseason camp with RB Leipzig. His move to Real Madrid has been closed since last Saturday, but just waiting for club's green light as soon as they line up a replacement. So at this point, no, whatever happens, Yon Diomande will be a Real Madrid player. The transfer fee is still being negotiated. Whether it's going to cross 120 million euros, we don't know yet. So that will come after the signing has been announced. Or perhaps it may even come as an undisclosed fee. But if it comes as an undisclosed fee, then you know that it is going to be well over 120 million euros. But as it stands now, RB Leipzig want to find a replacement, get a new signing to replace Yon Diomande before they release the player to move to Real Madrid. So that would be very interesting. Now, guys, the breaking news that shocked everybody today. Paris Saint-Germain remain in direct talks with Ferran Torres' camp over a move this summer. Barca do not want to sell Ferran Torres. The only way is if Ferran Torres asks to leave the club. PSG are in for Götze and Ferran are skunk in. Ramos and Mbaye leave, plus Liverpool trying to push for Bradley Barcola. So a lot of changes, a lot of movements happening in the market. And Ferran Torres is the latest jigsaw puzzle that is being introduced into the mix. Why? Because Paris Saint-Germain want to go and pick him from Barcelona to come and replace some of the outgoing guns that may leave PSG this particular summer. And one of them, Bradley Barcola. Now, Bradley Barcola, you know it, that he's really, really pushing hard for that Liverpool signing. And 142 million pounds. And I'm thinking about it this way, that even if it's 142 million pounds, guys, if he goes to join Liverpool, there are already left wingers in that team. So Rion Gumoha. Then we also have Victor Munoz and Moton and Ansenya. So what exactly is he going to do in that team? That's the question. What is he going to do in that team? It means that he's going to just compete. Right now, Liverpool should have been prioritizing a right winger. And that's what I was telling you the other time. That Jamie Carragher is not happy. You are going to make a player purchase of 142 million pounds. And he's come to compete with Rion Gumoha, with Victor Munoz, as well as Cody Gakpo. But it looks like players, faithfuls of Barcelona and even players are getting the signal that Ferran Torres will want to go. So that's very interesting. Let's see how it goes. Ferran Torres is more or less through and through Barcelona. And this guy, I thought that he had a future with Barca. At least if he played 1 or 2 more seasons with Barcelona, maybe he would have become one of their star men, their key marksmen. Right? And after a very impressive FIFA World Cup, scoring in the final, I thought that Barcelona would have wanted to keep the player at least for 1 more season before allowing him to go. But as it stands right now, the player in the case of pursue free what there's very little Barcelona can do. And PSG is a very lucrative team to play for. But will they give him the right conditions? I think they have the financial muscle to do that. Let's see what will happen in the coming days. Ferran Torres is a new development, so as the days go by, I'll be giving you more on that. And guys, a few hours ago, I think that was yesterday, Magnus Akliush to PSG. Here we go. So PSG are doing a lot in the market. Breakthrough between the clubs revealed here 2 days ago at 50 million euros, and now green light for final details on the player side. So there's a medical for Magnus Akliush for next week, that is the coming week, and he will sign until June 2031. Magnus Akliush is moving to Paris Saint-Germain. So they are doing some good business in the market. Then also PSG. Mika Götze has given the green light to the PSG project. Official negotiations, that is club to club, is underway, with Ajax requested around 60 million euros. Götze has accepted the personal terms and is ready to move and get the deal done. PSG are optimistic. So you can see that PSG are really into the market, because I think they have the idea, or they have the perception that they're going to lose a couple of players. So if that's going to happen, then they have to quickly sign and prepare for the next season, and also prepare for those who are going to leave. And also they a free PSG for next year air, and that will be some good piece of business for team Freno PSG. Now, guys, there's an exclusive from Chelsea, right? Pep Chavaria. Chelsea improved their bid for Pep Chavaria as negotiations with Rayo Vallecano are moving forward. The new proposal for the Spanish left back has been wanted by coach Xabi Alonso. So Kaya, Pep Chavaria, it looks like there was a movement for the player, and then it became very cold, because Chelsea were now focusing on other moves. And now with the confirmation of Dani Welbeck and also very soon Jordan Henderson, Chelsea want to go back to make the Pep Chavaria side. Now, Pep Chavaria, I think ideally he was supposed to be the one who would come and give Jorel Hato some competition at the left back place after Cucurella left the team. So, yes, Pep Chavaria, at this point, I think that Chelsea would still want to go in for him, because the player is 28 years old. The reported fee that they wanted to sign him for, I'll confirm that for you very soon. But if you bring him in for at least the next 4 years on a 4-year contract, he guarantees a very good competition for Jorel Hato over there, and that would be a very good signing for Chelsea. Honestly, I don't think that Pep Chavaria is going to be that player who may not, give us a lot of, the qualities that we want, especially from a left back. He looks like a very explosive player, and when I watch him play, I get the sense that he's a player who can come in and really help. Of course, the Premier League is totally different from the Spanish La Liga. But so Obana Otimi Bono Humodina or Bono Humodina or Yadia, I think that look, he will really help us. Give Jorel Hato some good competition at left back, and we really need somebody to compete with him to get the best out of both players in a season where we will need to maximize a lot of the results and get the 3 points, as many as we can, and win a lot of our games. So let's keep our eyes on Pep Chavaria, because he could be a very, very exceptional player for Chelsea if he manages to move from Rayo Vallecano. Yeah, that is what we are gathering. So Chelsea is going back to sign or try and get Pep Chavaria from Tima, your friend Rayo Vallecano. Yeah. So Rayo Vallecano are demanding a fee close to £42.4 million. Right? Now, Muntini, Rayo Vallecano is demanding a fee close to the evaluation of full release clause of Pep Chavaria, with reports noting a 42.4 million release clause, while general club demands are around 21 to 30 million pounds. So Chelsea would have to meet that particular deal, right? The release clause is valued at 42.4 million pounds, right? And well, for a 28-year-old player, Ubeka said no boy doing too much, but it's about what you get from the player, right? And I think that is what it is about transfers these days. The ends justifying the means. Player now okofano unim se value on so na opese ultimately use to build or benefit your squad there. 42 million for a 28-year-old. Just go in for it. Secure the player and come and bolster your squad. Very, very important. So 42.4 million pounds. Guys, what do you think about it? Drop your comments. Let me know what you think about the movement of Abrantia friend Pep Chavaria to Chelsea Football Club. Now, Manchester United, they are also in the news because they played a preseason game recently. And yeah, I'll get to the result of that game. But Manchester United. Manchester United, Manchester United. Guys, United, people want to hear what is the news. Now, the only news that we got from Manchester United in terms of the transfers was that they were trying to chase Abrantia friend Manu Kone from AS Roma in a swap deal for Marcus Rashford. But I mean, there has been no headway on that deal yet. It's been a bit cold. So Manchester United played with Atletico Madrid. Brian Mbeumo scored all the 2 goals for Manchester United. Got a very good win against Atletico Madrid. I think that was very impressive. So this has been Onside with me, Joshua Hollow. To updates in will be brave. I'm gonna bring you as the days go by. I have so much to give you. We'll do some analysis, we'll do the transfers, we'll understand how the teams could build up and get ready for the season that is coming up. I think we're just about 2 weeks away for the season to begin. So just stay with me, right? We're gonna do deep dive into the analysis. Until I come your way again, I'll see you in the next one. But subscribe and turn on your post notifications.